So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Devanya Porter. I'm the manager of education programs here at the Economic Club of Washington. I'm so excited to see you all here today to learn more about the Capital Explorer Fund. Before we jump into today's session, if you all can utilize the chat or maybe come on camera or just let us know, have any of you heard of the Capital Explorer Fund before? Do you intend on applying, or are you just interested in learning more today? Both. Awesome. Thank you. Well, I'm going to turn it over to my team to introduce themselves. Some people said they're just interested in learning more. Awesome. So we hope that we give you all the information that you need today in order to apply. If you have any questions throughout this session, please hold them until the end when we do Q&A and or utilize the chat feature, and we'll get to your question before the session is over. So Victoria, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Victoria Dunn. You can call me Vic too. I'm the director of the program, and it's so good to see you guys here. I'll hand it to Linda.
Hi, everybody. Linda Larson. I know we don't get to see each other face to face too often, but really excited you're here to learn more about this program. It's a great addition to what we offer you.
Yeah. And then we also have our colleague Betsy on the call. She's here to support. If you all have any tech issues, please send her a quick message. I'm not sure if she's sharing screen. Sorry, Betsy. Can you all see my screen? Okay, awesome. So again, thanks again for coming. We're here to talk about the 2023 Capital Explorer Fund. So I'm just going to click to the next slide, and we're just going to go over the welcome and introductions, which is what we just did. We're going to go over the purpose and just provide some background information on the Capital Explorer Fund, hear directly from a scholar via a video, and then go over some eligibility criteria, some important deadlines, and then we'll open up the floor for questions for you. All right, so the Capital Explorer Fund is a small fund that we have available to support you scholars in wanting to expand your academic or professional growth. So you can find a project. It can be a research project, a internship program, maybe it's unpaid and you need some finances to support you in doing that, or you might need help with housing while you consider this unpaid internship, or any other similar opportunity like a conference or anything of that nature. This fund is specifically tailored towards supporting you and getting these opportunities taken care of for you. So we're going to talk a little bit about the project description. You can do it locally, nationally, or internationally. So later on, we'll hear from a scholar who did a program internationally. She really enjoyed it. It's something that she found on her own. So we will require the same thing from you all to find the project on your own, get us the information, and we walk you through the entire application process so you don't feel like you're unsure about what exactly it is that we need. We'll go through all of that with you once we see that you are interested in it and you complete the initial intake form. So you'll submit a proposal along with like the guidelines of the scope and sequence of your project that you want to complete. There's no minimum length required, but we just urge you to complete the application within the given deadline. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the session. So what are some acceptable projects? We consider like service learning trips. So that could be something that's travel abroad. Maybe you're going to, I don't know, Spain to do a beautification project, or maybe you're education major and you want to go teach some students abroad. That is an example of a service learning trip. You can do conferences or summits, as I mentioned before, unpaid internships, or the research program. And the funding doesn't have to just cover the expense of the trip. It can be, again, for housing, maybe transportation, food, and we want you to get the real experience so you can go on excursions. Like one student went ziplining before. We highly recommend it. Like this is a learning opportunity to enhance you academically and professionally, and we want you to get a holistic experience. We can even cover project materials. So say, for instance, you take on a research program, but you need this specific piece of plastic to conduct your research. We're definitely open to supporting you and getting the things you need to make this a great adventure for you. All right, so now we're gonna go think about like, if you got the funding, like what's next? So we do require a lot from you all. So initially we will need like receipts. So if you say, I want to use this fund for airfare, I'm going to message you back and say, hey, I noticed you put this in your budget, but I don't see a receipt. So we're going to ask that you screenshot that and show us what that anticipated cost may be But if you already paid for it, you can also share the receipt with us and we could potentially reimburse you, and it'll be included in the amount of funding that you were approved for. We do ask that you submit a summary, a written summary of your experience, and then you can do something like present us with 10 photos of your trip, or you can do a video, which you will see a little bit later in this session as well. But we just really want to hear all about your experience so we can best help you and future scholars. So I'm going to push play, and please let me know if you cannot hear the video. Let me make sure the audio is working here. I think so. Let's see.
Hello, my name is Lakabelle Abul. I am a rising senior at the University of Notre Dame.
Can you all hear that?
As well as the 2018 recipient of the Economics Club
Oops, sorry.
Scholarship. Throughout my career in college, the Economic Club has really helped me out, just given me a bunch of different opportunities. And this includes what I will be talking about in this video today. So I applied for the Economics Club Capital Explorer Fund earlier this year. And the committee and everyone on board was just helping me out, guiding me through the entire process, which I am really thankful for. And this resulted in me getting a $2,000 grant in order to study abroad in Alcoy, Spain for about 6 weeks. This was a great opportunity. I've always been passionate about traveling, learning about different cultures, and just getting myself outside of my comfort zone. With this experience, I was able to do just that. And I will admit, at first, I was a little bit afraid that it wouldn't be possible, even though I had already been accepted in my study abroad program, because I knew that I could not afford to pay for the trip as well as the tuition fee for the summer. But with this $2,000, I was able to pay for my plane ticket as well as food and obtain a passport, which I am really appreciative of. And overall, the experience has been great. I am still thinking about it to this very day. I was able to go on multiple excursions, just I guess expand my network by interacting with my professors and my classmates every day. I was also able to interact with the locals in Spain and improve on my Spanish, and just the food, trying tapas, having to navigate just the different cultures, establishing things like siesta, which is when they take a break throughout the day and everyone either goes home, just relax with their family. It's a whole different world. And these are the things that I've come to appreciate. And honestly, it's eye-opening. And once again, I would not have been able to experience such a great opportunity without the help of Economic Club and this amazing Capital Explorer Fund. So thank you once again. Thank you, and I appreciate everything.
So that was just a little snippet of one of the experiences that the scholars had. As you can see, she utilized the funding to her full capacity. She went on excursions, she used it for food, she used it for airfare, transportation, as well as obtaining a passport. So it's really an unlimited opportunity for you all. And I hope that you take advantage of it. So now let's talk about the eligibility requirements. So anyone who is a David and Rubenstein Economic Club Scholarship recipient and currently in college can apply for this funding. It is limited, it is not guaranteed. So you will have to complete an application. We'll go through a review process, which we'll talk about shortly. You must have completed a minimum of 30 credit hours or equivalent to be eligible to participate in this though. So you might be wondering what's included in the application. So we'll ask general demographics like your name, what year you got the scholarship, why do you want to participate in the Capital Explorer Fund? What is your project about? So we'll get that project proposal along with your personal statement, a budget, your college transcript, and all of those fantastic things that any application should ask for. From there, once you submit that application, more than likely, I will be the person reaching out to you saying, hey, here's some things I have questions about. Can you get me more information? I will then share your entire application with the education team. And then we will send it up the chain to get it pre-approved by the education committee chair. From there, it will be voted by the entire education committee. And then we will reach back out to you and let you know if you received it or you did not receive the funding. And then from there, we will work on dispersing the funds to you. Typically, it works as a reimbursement process, but sometimes students do need the funding upfront in order to participate in these types of experiences. So that is something that we ask that you communicate to us beforehand so we can know how to best assist you in this process. Now let's talk about deadlines. So one of my colleagues is going to drop the link to the application in the chat. And then I'll send it out to you all as a thank you for coming to the session and make sure that you have the link as well. But as far as deadlines are concerned, if you are looking to travel really soon, like this summer, the deadline is March 31st. Yes, that is next week. If you have a project in mind and you think it might fall in the scope of this, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to walk you through the application, or if you want to complete the application as soon as possible, please do. If you need an extension, we would discuss that case by case, but please do know that March 31st is the deadline if you want to do a summer experience this summer. From there, if you want to travel at some point, maybe fall semester or during your fall break, the deadline will be June 30th, and then so forth. So if you're thinking about spring break, we'll need the application and all supporting materials by November 30th. I'm just going to leave that there. Maybe y'all taking a picture of it because this is important. All right, so that pretty much sums up the application process and what you should expect and the type of experiences that you all can get from it. So I would like to open the floor up for questions and answers. So I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen. And you can feel free to utilize the chat, come off mute, and or use the raised hand feature on Zoom. Give me 1 second while I open up the chat. Do unpaid internships also count for fall and spring? I would believe so. Yes, Tony, you can apply for an unpaid internship throughout the semester. However, because this is limited funds, it depends on what you're trying to use the funding for. Like, let's chat offline about it. I don't want to get into the details here, but yes, it should count. Just reach out to us so we can assess the situation.
Well, I had a question about unpaid internship too, but I guess I'll talk to you later about it.
Well, maybe someone else has your question. Do you mind asking it here?
It's kind of like what we like an unpaid internship. Like maybe we use it for like, because we're not getting paid, so maybe we use it for like food and like I guess transportation and stuff. But not like an hourly rate, right?
Right. So for instance, if you do an unpaid internship throughout the semester, you're in college in, I don't know, let's say Baltimore, but your internship is in DC. You might need some support commuting to and from work, right? So you can apply for the funding to get that commuter transportation benefit. But again, we do assess it case by case. So I don't want to say yes here and then it doesn't get approved. So it just depends on exactly how you articulate the projects and internships you are working on. Are there any more questions? Is anyone thinking about traveling abroad outside of the semester?
Oh yeah, study abroad. So when it comes to study abroad, the money transfer process, do you guys take that into factor too? Like say like $2,000 is like 1,600 euros and or something like that.
That is a great question. When we say $2,000, we are talking about 2,000 US dollars. Like that is only what we refer to. Now, when you think about study abroad, if it falls within the semester and you're saying, oh, I'm going for the entire semester, this particular fund does not include that. Because you already get the economic club scholarship, that will be used for tuition and should be transferable to that travel abroad experience. So that does not fall in the scope of this. However, if you find something that's like, yeah, it is during a semester, maybe it's a week long and your school is hosting it, but it's not directly a full semester abroad, then it may qualify. So again, that is something else that we do on a case by case as well. And thank you for your questions. Are there any more questions? Jasmine, I know you just got here. We went over a brief overview of the Capital Explorer Fund, but we were just wondering if anyone had any specific questions or any projects in mind that you might want to partake in this summer, spring, or fall.
I had a question. So I am going for a semester abroad, but all my expenses are prior to the semester starting. Would I still not be able to qualify?
Actually, Linda just put a Slack in it. I'm sorry, not a Slack. She just put something in the chat. So a study abroad semester is counted as a regular semester, which is already funded by the scholarship. So the Capital Explorer Fund is something that's a separate entity. And so for you, Adriana, you are studying abroad and you still have to pay your college tuition. So unfortunately, your project will not count towards it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, sorry, you probably already covered this, but I was wondering if you can use the career fund in order to fund like a study abroad over the summer.
Yes, we absolutely can. And so the funding is limited. We've only offer up to $2,000, and we do encourage you to still seek outside external funding sources. But yes, we do support you throughout the summer as well.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? These are great questions, guys. If not, you all have my email as well as the education email. Actually, let me just put the education email in the Slack, in the chat now, not Slack. If you all have any questions about the Capital Explorer Fund or any other program that we do, feel free to send it to the education email. We all can see it on the education team and would love to assist you with that. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, but thank you all so much for coming. Give me 1 second.